Hi, my name is Matthew Belisario. Welcome to another edition of the Belisario Sonic YouTube channel. Today, let's just talk a little bit about the value of your record collection. And this is always a controversial subject. You've got people that like to look at Discogs, and I've spoken a little bit about this before. They think it's like a stock market, and they love when they get up in the morning to look at how much their record collection is worth. So let's just start off by talking about the value of records, because for most of us working class people, we buy records because we want to sit down and listen to the record, not because we want to look at the stock price of what our collection is worth. At least most of the people I know don't really care a lot about that. Yeah, it's nice that if you wanted to sell them, you know, they hold their value or some of them go up. That's fantastic. But most people that I know, including myself, we buy it because we like the record and we want to sit down and listen to them. And so I want to talk about the price on Discogs today and what it's done over the last month. These are real numbers I'm going to give you. I've got a fairly decently sized record collection. I've got about 2,500 records. I got about a third of those, 830 of them logged into Discogs. So I'm going to give you some numbers here. The low side, the mid side, and the high side. If you go on Discogs, you've got three ranges of prices. And as I spoke in a couple of videos ago, if you're collecting records to retire on, it's not a good investment. No, it really isn't. Yeah, if you've collected them throughout the 40 years I've collected them, sure, they've increased in value from what I've paid from them from, all the way back from the 70s and through the 80s and all that. But generally speaking, if you're going to invest for retirement, I would recommend something else. So let's talk about the economy. Right now, the economy is pretty crappy. As everybody probably knows, your money's not going that far. Here's the interesting thing on the Discogs prices. I've been tracking them since the 4th of September until today. So of the 830 records that I've got on there, so it's a pretty good snapshot. It's about a third of my collection. I've got all kinds of genres of music. I've got used records, some pretty valuable records in there, new records, reissues, you name it. I've got a pretty good cross section in there. So let's just go back to the 4th of September. On the low side, the collection number on Discogs was $13,017. The center price, the mid price, was $22,512. And then on the high side, it was $40,397. Now, fast forward to today, which I just went on there today, got the pricing. On the low side, it's $12,768 for a loss of $249 over 830 records, which gives you about a 30 cents per record loss on that, on the low side. Mid side started off with $22,512. Today it was $22,408, so it lost $100 over the course of 830 records, about 13 cents a record. On the high side, I started off with $40,397, and today I'm at $40,337. So that was only a loss of $60, about a little over 7 cents a record. So what does this tell me? It tells me a few things. The people that have a lot of money, that collect stuff, that can buy whatever they want whenever they want, they're still doing that because the high side did not drop very much. It only dropped an average of 7 cents a record. So people are still paying the top dollar when they really want something. So the people that have the money, the people that buy every single record that comes out. And I'm not knocking these guys. It's great if you got the money and you can buy all these records. Hey, by all means, if I have more money, I'd buy more too. The midsection dropped by about 13 cents a record. So your mid price down on Discogs over 830 records lost about 13 cents a record. Not huge, but it did lose. And on the bottom side, though, it lost a lot, 30 cents a record over the course of just 1 month. And so the whole point I'm trying to make here is over a course of a month on Discogs, so 830 albums listed with a cross section of all kinds of genres of music, new records, old records, a lot of records that are on the low side, over $100 records. There's probably about 50 of those in there. And on the high side, there's several that are over $200 or $300. So there's a big cross section, and then all the way down to your dollar records, $5 records, whatever they are. So this is not something that you want to invest in for retirement or any of that kind of stuff. You want to buy the records because you want to listen to them. And so with all the great stuff coming out now, because there's a lot of cool stuff coming out with Blue Note with the jazz stuff, some Steely Dan reissues. I'm going to actually do a video on that because that's a pretty interesting phenomenon that people are going to pay $150 a record for a Steely Dan record. That's pretty steep, and they're also 45 RPM records, which is fine. For me personally, they sound better, but to me is it worth paying a lot of extra money for a 45 RPM? Not all the time for me, unless it's something I really, really want. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but the whole point of this video is to show you the value of records are dropping right now. They're not going up. As long as the economy continues to struggle and there's no signs that it's going to get any better in the foreseeable future, I can tell you that. The prices of records are going to continue to drop, and the only people that are going to be able to keep affording these expensive records are going to be people that have a ton of money and make a lot of money. So for us working class folks, we still got to hunker down and be prudent about what we're going to buy, and then make a list up on what we really want. And, that's just what we got to do. So that's all I have for today. We'll talk to you on the next episode. Take care.